Welcome everybody to the second edition of Digital Cappuccino. We are streaming live from Lausanne with my colleagues Adam and Andrea. Let's first talk about the behind the scenes a bit, what it took to prepare this session. So as you know, there is COVID, so it was extremely difficult for us to put together, and we had to respect the social distances, masks, and gather in very small groups. Because of this, we had to be very creative. We had to pre-record a lot of the parts that I will play for you, and it has been really a lot of fun for us to prepare this. So I hope you will enjoy it as much as we do enjoy it. And here is the menu of the session. So first, this is the little intro that I will do in 2 minutes. And then we start talking on chapter 1 about the augmented reality, a little intro of Walid and Adam talking together. After that, we move on to a demo of Remote Assist. So you will see it's a very, very nice showcase. And finally, we move on to customer stories with a special guest, Anna Waight. This is an interview that we had to prepare really quickly, last minute. But we made it because she's based in London, and we had issues with the internet quality, but you will see it went very well. And then we have a very interesting interview of a professor and also a PhD who is leading a lab in Zurich, because maybe not many of you know, but there is research done by Microsoft in collaboration with the ETH around augmented reality and virtual reality. And then we will answer your questions that you can put in the live Q&A. So let's start with our chapter 1.
Hi Walid.
Hey Adam.
Today we are going to speak about mixed reality at work. What image come to your mind when you speak about that?
Actually, it comes from my childhood. Growing up, going to the cinema, the movies, and seeing these holographic images pop up. It's pretty magical from these science fiction movies.
As well for me.
So mixed reality has augmented reality. It has virtual reality. What's the difference between them?
Virtual reality is purely virtual objects, and you are disconnected from your environment.
And augmented reality?
Augmented reality is merging virtual objects in a real environment in real time. Today, we are going to talk about the challenges that are seeing the companies, the field workers, and how this technology, augmented reality, is able to help them day to day.
So what are those challenges that are being faced by the companies?
Speed, quality, and safety are critical for companies. Managing resources skills is also very strategic for the companies, and today there is a lack of resources, a lack of skilled people for several reasons. Retirement is one, COVID is one. A lot of things are happening today where you are not able to have the specialist in the right place at the right moment.
And is COVID the reason mixed reality has become such a topic that's popular?
Yeah, we can see the COVID as an accelerator of the digitalization, as we have seen with some tools, like for the communication itself. Now COVID also requires more safety, and you cannot go to some places by yourself. So how to tackle that?
Very curious to learn more. Let's talk about the use cases of mixed reality for the companies.
So training is one.
What else?
Operation, how to standardize your operations. The other one that is very important is repairs. And we are seeing also revolution in inspection. And last but not least, it's customer service. Could you detail the technologies proposed by Microsoft?
So Microsoft is playing in the augmented reality space, and there are two areas that are pretty important. Assisting, and that's where remote assistance comes, and that's something you could look up, remote assist, or getting trained and doing training on pieces of machinery or other situations, and that's called guides. So there are a couple of applications, remote assist and guides.
Yeah, what is interesting also is you don't need a specific device for all scenarios. You can start with a mobile, and then you have mixed reality on your mobile. And you can use also the HoloLens to have a complete experience with augmented reality in 3D with holograms.
I tried both, and what's great about the mobile, it's very flexible. Any moment you just open the app and then you get into this fantastic augmented reality of adding objects, adding images, annotations, pulling up files in front of you or with the mobile phone to what you're taking a picture of with someone else calling in. What about HoloLens 2? Did you try it?
Yeah, HoloLens is wonderful because, for example, if I need to be trained on a new machine, you can see in your space, imagine here, the machine in front of you. You can walk around and you can do some actions. For example, if you are training or something, directly on the machine. It's like wonderful.
It sounds very complex, but with customers we've started implementing it with, first thing they were looking at is how fast and how easily they could deploy these things. And it's pretty amazing. It's like a game. You download the app, you open the app, and then you start. And that's been one of the number one criteria customers look at to choose mixed reality applications.
Walid means a customer can decide now to do a test.
Absolutely. And with Remote Assist, you kind of just download the app from any app store, try it and see how it's supporting you. Then there's, of course, more strategic thinking around how to use it.
So we are providing a trial. Customer can download it easily, identify a scenario, work on a business case. We can support, and the customer can evaluate easily the benefit from it in a couple of weeks.
With a mobile phone.
Amazing.
Investing in technology produces savings. There is the formal research, there's a Forrester report on that, but I want to talk about a case with a customer. The downtime on a piece of machinery that is stopping the rest of the factory from working for a minute or 10 minutes or 1 hour is a lot of money lost. And the return on investment with our customer from the investment itself of everything they implemented in mixed reality was 6 months.
Hey, so I hope you liked this first video, and now we will move directly to a demo of remote repairs and how we can learn with holograms. So this is my colleague Anna, and because this is a fictional story that you will see, I just wanted to introduce her now. I didn't want to confuse you by including her during the demo, and there is no other place where we can see her. So that's why I introduced her now. So let's go to this second chapter, the demo. Thank you. Most workers don't have access to a computer, and they need their hands to operate the machinery. In the following story, we will meet Adam, an account manager at Contoso. He sold a monitoring solution to his customer, Andrea. An engine at Andrea's factory is not balanced and vibrates a lot. Adam can see the issue on Azure IoT Hub before his customer is even calling. We will see how Anna, an expert working with Adam, can support the customer remotely to repair the engine.
Hello, Andrea.
Hey, Adam.
How are you doing?
Well, quite concerned, you know.
I can imagine. I was looking at your figures and I saw that one of your machines has a high level of vibration.
Well, the production line stopped 2 hours ago and we're losing money by the minute, Adam.
Yeah, we have received the automatic ticket to assign a technician to support you. Unfortunately, nobody is available to come on site before 2 days.
No way. I need support right now, Adam.
Yeah, that's why I'm calling you, Andrea. The good thing is we have trained one of your guys in your team to be able to use this material, HoloLens and Remote Assist. And if he's available, we can connect him right now with one of our experts.
I agree. Let's do that.
Okay, let's connect later.
Thanks, Adam.
Hi, Andrea. How are you?
Hi, Anna. I'm good, thanks. What about you?
I'm great. I'm great. How can I help you?
Look, I'm having some problems with this engine. If you can hear, maybe it's vibrating right now. And it's a new one. It's a new model that we just bought from you. So I'm unable to fix it. Can you please guide me through?
Yeah, no problem. I'm here to help. I can hear the vibration also. First thing, please, can you turn off the engine? That's this big red button over here. Can you see it?
Yes, I see it.
Perfect, perfect. Much better. Okay, now we need to open the side door for the case of the engine. I put you a big arrow. Can you see it?
Yes.
Yes, yes. Perfect, perfect. Now we need to extract the cylindrical piece from the axis of the motor. Can
Yes,
you
sure. You mean this piece here, right?
please take that? Absolutely, yes. Can you take that piece out? Perfect, perfect, perfect. Now we would need to replace that part. Can you locate around your workspace a replacement part?
Yeah, I should have one here.
Now I would like for you to place that part on the axis of the engine, paying attention to the fact that the outside is marked. So you would need to put the piece with the part on the outside as instructed. Excellent, excellent. Good job, good job. Perfect. Next, I'm going to ask you to close the door again because the engine won't start until the door is closed. Great, great. Now let's do a small test. Can you try to turn on the engine again?
I can do that, yes. Wow, now it's working so much better. Thanks, Anna.
Absolutely. I'm so glad I could help. Is there anything else I could do for you today?
Look, yes, I was thinking, since I'm a team lead, here in the maintenance area, maybe you can help me train my team. I don't know if you have some guides or something that we can read so that they can fix the engine the next time by themselves.
Absolutely, and that's a very good idea. Anticipating this, I have created a guides in the Microsoft Dynamics 365 Guides application that you can use with your team to go through the exact same process. I would like for you to open the Guides application. Excellent, excellent. First thing that you need to do is to scan the QR code so the application locates you in the correct space. It needs to make sure that you are facing the correct way. Perfect, I see the scan worked. You need to confirm. And now you just follow the guide step by step. It has pictures. You can also include video materials, but this is quite a short guide, so there's no need for that.
Well, thank you very much, Anna. With that, I think I can train my team and they can be much faster the next time something breaks down.
Great. Have a nice day. Bye.
Thank you, Anna. You too. Bye-bye.
Hello again, Andrea.
Hi, Adam.
What are the news?
Well, I'm doing great right now. We solved the issue.
Yeah, really? How it was?
Well, I must say I'm really amazed by how the virtual support to the HoloLens device worked out. You could help my team in 3 hours to solve the issue that we had. I'm sure that the business case that we worked out together for all the factories makes totally sense right now. Thanks, Adam. Let's keep in touch.
A pleasure.
Hey, so guys, did you see already a few questions in the chat, or are there any interactions already?
We have one question from Edouard. So Edouard is asking, is the next generation of HoloLens will have a wider field for the view? At this stage, we cannot answer on this question. We will check with the product group if we can share something publicly, and then we will update.
Yeah, okay. But maybe it's, so is it a question about HoloLens 1 or HoloLens 2,
I guess the next generation of HoloLens after the current one.
Okay, all right. So let's continue to talk in the chat, in the live chat, and we will come back right after we go to the next. We will go to the next chapter, which are customer stories. So you will see current implementations with Anna Waight, and it was recorded from with her in London and me in Lausanne just before this session. So let's dive into it. Hi, Anna. I'm really excited that you could join us today. Whenever I search for information about mixed reality in the Microsoft communities, your name pops up. So could you please introduce yourself and explain your role?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, hi, Raf, and thanks so much for taking the time to speak with me. My role here at Microsoft is to focus on being the global workload lead for our mixed reality applications. So that really focuses in on the Remote Assist and Guides app. You can think of my role as the digital feedback loop, shall we say, between our customers, our partners, our field, back into Microsoft engineering, marketing, and sort of business structure.
Hey, that's really great. And what is exciting you about mixed reality?
What isn't? I mean, I think what's really exciting and the thing that differentiates mixed reality as a technology all up is the principle behind it, which is really to empower the human, making the human being, quote unquote, giving them superpowers. So when we think about mixed reality technology, it's really about overlaying digital content into somebody's physical world. The mission really is to make sure that we give that person all of the content and context given the environment they're in. So augmenting their reality with digital content that helps them to do their job better and faster and ultimately feel more empowered.
Oh, wonderful. At the end of the demo, we saw that Andreas was using guides. What benefits our customers can expect with this new way of learning?
Great question. And the first is the fact that people remember 90% of what they do versus 10% of what they read. So when you take traditional classroom-based training, you might be sat there reading a document that explains how you do something, and then it may be days, weeks, months later before you're out actually in your given workspace delivering that task. So the amount of information that you have retained in that period of time is significantly reduced. Whereas if you actually learn by doing, you're going to retain 90% of that information, meaning that actually retention is increased by about 40% overall. Another interesting data point, and we sort of found this when we were doing a lot of research with bringing the Guides product to market, is that we found organizations, their technicians would spend between 60 to 70% of their time as non-wrench, i.e. looking for the right information, looking for the manual that they needed, or looking for the right expert to support them. Now, when you present somebody information right where their work is happening, so you overlay the instruction anchored to their real world, they can actually see exactly the information that they need. So there's none of this going to search for the document or looking for the person that can support. And what we saw is that actually led to an, on average, 40% reduction in the overall task time itself.
Guides is really convincing for me because not long ago I was a CIO in a manufacturing company, and I can tell you that the workers in the workshop were definitely not able to carry around a computer. I mean, some of them had some kind of trolley that they were pushing around to try to have this computer, but it was absolutely not convenient. If they had this kind of device, a HoloLens, and had their hands free, they could have learned and also be 1,000 times more efficient in their work, like for quality controls, for searching things in the warehouse. So it's really a wonderful technology. And I really would like more customers to adopt this and to see the benefits of the technology. But our customers will definitely ask about the return on investment and the different metrics that we have around this. Is there already a study or any measure that we can talk about?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, making sure that there's strong ROI is a critical factor to any decision. And so a couple of years ago, we instructed Forrester to conduct a total economic impact of Microsoft Dynamics 365 Remote Assist. But as a high level, we saw organizations having a 138% ROI with payback of the total solution within 12 months. We saw on average organizations avoiding at least $3,500 of travel expenses, which actually meant that the HoloLens paid for itself in just one trip being avoided. There's some other key statistics in here, which in the report, which we can share. Things like manufacturers being able to resolve an issue 5 times faster when they're using remote assist. So I encourage you to look at that total economic impact study. And we also have a team inside of Microsoft that do individual ROI studies on the customer behalf. So if you are somebody who's interested to understand what would this mean for my business specifically, anchored around the use cases that you're looking at, we can conduct that study for you.
Wonderful. In the discussion between Walid and Adam, we heard about solutions to customer challenges. But all this looks like science fiction, holograms, right? Are there real customer examples where they use augmented reality, but today?
So yeah, we have plenty of customers using our solutions right across the globe today. And I encourage anyone who's interested in understanding some of the public references that we have available, they can check out the Microsoft stories, and we can share the link to that following on from today's session. But when we look at the success of our applications, there's some key industries where they're really landing. Those are in particular manufacturing. If we take the example of L'Oreal, they've recently rolled out remote assist and HoloLens right across their factories, and they've seen actually a reduction in their diagnostics and intervention time by over 50%. They've also seen, what's really interesting, is improved employee performance and morale by having solutions at their fingertips that really support them. Another manufacturer that is really looking at a way of transforming the way their factories operate is Intel. They're looking at HoloLens plus remote assist and guides. But we see industries as well like healthcare. The global pandemic has really impacted the way we can deliver healthcare. So the National Health Service here in the UK is using the HoloLens and remote assist as a way of providing virtual ward rounds. So they just have one doctor next to the patient, and the remaining physicians join through remote assist to help triage and diagnose the patient. They're also using the HoloLens and remote assist as a way of training junior physicians to upskill them to understand better how to diagnose patients. And then another industry I'd like to touch on is automotive. We've seen the likes of PACCAR, Toyota using remote assist and guides in their operations. But one interesting use case that we've recently brought to market is the Mercedes-Benz scenario. They have deployed over 430 dealerships right across the US, giving each of those dealerships a HoloLens and the ability to call back to a Mercedes expert through remote assist. So really providing a differentiating way to support their dealerships and ultimately their Mercedes-Benz customers. So really providing a differentiating customer service.
Thank you very much for all these insights. It has been really incredible to have you, and have a good day. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Hey, so this session about customer stories with Anna is finished. Now, Andrea, can you introduce us to the next topic?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you very much, Anna. This part was great, I guess, for our audience too. So the next part will be an interview with Marc. Marc, he's leading the research lab here in Zurich, where all the technologies behind the platform of mixed reality that we are developing are designed and born. So looking forward to listen to Marc insights on this topic.
Perfect. Thank you.
Hi, Marc. Thanks for your time and welcome to the second edition of the Digital Cappuccino. Can you please introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Marc Pollefeys. I'm leading a research lab here for Microsoft on mixed reality and AI in Zurich. And at the same time, I'm also a professor at ETH Zurich, where I lead a research team on computer vision.
The other day, a person in my team was explaining me about a customer in the manufacturing industry where they had some sensors on machine and they were trying to optimize the way to display the data. Can mixed reality and HoloLenses help in that case?
With a device like HoloLens, you can place information, you can place pixels, displays wherever you want in the world. You can actually see that information show up in the right place. And not only can you see the current status, but you can actually also start querying, was there an alarm in the last 3 weeks or something like this. So all of this becomes possible. It's a much richer display for information, for querying and asking information. You can really expect that over time, every technician, every person will have the view that's relevant to him. That's relevant even to the task that he has to solve at that point in time. He will see all the relevant information in front of his eyes. And another person that needs to solve another task will have different displays and different things to see to help them do their task. And you will be able to interactively query the information and so on while you're actually manipulating the tools and solving the problem. So yes, it will completely change how things are done.
Marc, can HoloLenses be used inside of clean rooms?
That's a very good question. We actually just came out with a new industrial edition of HoloLens, which addresses exactly that need. So for being able to operate inside a clean room, there are very strict constraints on how much dust particles can be generated or can be emitted by a device. And so the new industrial edition of HoloLens satisfies those strictest requirements so that it can be operated inside a clean room.
I've been reading on newspaper about surgeries assisted with HoloLenses. Can you elaborate a bit more on that kind of application in the health space?
Yes, so essentially surgeons really can also benefit from HoloLens. In particular, let's say an orthopedic surgeon who has to really operate, for example, on the spine and has to place bars to rigidly attach the vertebra. They essentially measure, they use HoloLens to help measure exactly the shape they need to generate, and then they can look and use the tools to deform this metal bar in the right way. And compare it to the measurements from HoloLens and then essentially bring it back and slot it in the right place. And so all of this procedure now gets accelerated and is more precise.
So we'll see in movies people going around with glasses and augmented reality in there to get some additional information about what's going on around them. Do you see in the future, short, medium-term future, people using mixed reality in their everyday life?
So yes, I think it's something that will come. Now, of course, if you look at a device like HoloLens today, it's a device that, when you are in a factory or when you're a surgeon or depending on the scenario, when you have a dedicated task to do and this extra information that HoloLens can bring you really helps you, then it makes sense to wear this device. It's not necessarily yet something you would wear naturally the whole day or in particular you would wear outside in the street. So there's a lot of work to do to shrink the technology further, to move it forward, and to bring it more to something like this, to this type of form factor. Now, once we can do that, then yes, then everybody will wear this. And maybe 10 years from now, we will all be wondering, as today we are wondering how we could live without our phones, we'll be wondering how we could live without these layers of information just showing up and helping us in doing, through our daily lives or so. So of course, there's already been some kind of products that, augmented reality glasses, but those devices have been limited to actually just be a small display that gets integrated in glasses or so. What we're talking about of the future is really some experience like HoloLens, true mixed reality, where the real elements and the virtual elements are really brought together in a three-dimensional representation, not something where I can just read some email or some text on my display or so. So there's a lot of work to actually make that possible.
What's the next industry where mixed reality can really have a big impact, where they are maybe doing pilots, experimenting with the technology, but it's not there yet?
So people that have to do hands-free work in industry is one category. Another category is when people have to communicate three-dimensional information, which is very difficult. So on a whiteboard or something like this, you cannot really easily convey three-dimensional information. And of course, you could say, well, you can also show a 3D model on a normal 2D screen and have people understand things there, but it's not the same. With a device like HoloLens, as you move around, you actually, your own motion, your proprioception, so your own understanding of motion really helps in understanding if the 3D object is in front of you. And when you move like this, you see it from a different angle, you better understand the 3D structure than if you're looking at it on a screen and with a mouse, rotate it around, it's not the same 3D perception. If you look at anatomical models, already now in a lecture, what you will have is you will have these kind of plastic models or these skeletons that hang there, to teach you those things. But those are static. Maybe you can take something out and put it in or so, but they're essentially static models. With HoloLens, of course, you can see all of this in 3D. You can all look at it together, all with your own HoloLenses, all co-registered, so that if I point at something, you can see what I'm pointing at correctly. But beyond that, you can have animations. You can have the blood flow, for example, visualized, which is impossible to do in any other way, of course. So it's a much richer experience that you can bring. And so a richer experience means that people will much more quickly understand and remember what they've learned.
For sure, learn more, learn faster, and understand more things. A lot of people, including myself, we know mixed reality from application that we can download on our phones. But what's the big difference between application on phones, mobile phones, and on HoloLenses?
With a device like HoloLens, when you put on the device, you're essentially looking through the displays here. And so the augmentation happens directly on top of the world itself. So with HoloLens, you can place pixels anywhere in the real world in front of your eyes, not in an indirect view. And so it's completely a different experience. It's also one that's hands-free and essentially much more immersive, much more convincing.
What kind of effort are we putting in making the experience of interacting with the mixed reality a good one for the end user?
The HoloLens has a depth camera built in that allows you to see and track and see exactly how your hands are moving. This is used so that you can intuitively and naturally interact with the holograms. So you can actually grab a hologram as if it was a real object. So you don't have to learn how to manipulate digital information. You manipulate digital information the same way you would manipulate real physical objects. So the holograms are a real physical object. You essentially can grab it in the same way. And so it's very intuitive. Similarly, HoloLens, if you look here, it has some small cameras that look at your eyes. There's many more cameras, many more sensors, but there's in particular two that look at your eyes. This is there to be able to track where you are looking, and so this can also facilitate interaction. For example, if I'm reading a text, it can follow along, and then it can automatically scroll when I'm getting to the bottom of the page. It knows I'm there, and it can essentially scroll along. So there's a lot of technology built in there that's very complicated technology, very complicated algorithms, but they make it very simple and seamless for people to go through these mixed reality experiences.
So thank you very much, Marc, for the time and insights on mixed reality. I hope it was an interesting one for you too.
Well, thank you for having me. This was a great conversation. Thanks.
Hey, so the video is just finished. I let you guys talk about the few questions that you have seen in the chat.
Yeah, sure. I can start with the first one. Does remote assist work on mobile devices too? Yes, indeed it does. I can send the link later so you can read about that. Then are HoloLenses too already available in Switzerland? How can I buy them? Yes, they are available right now, Microsoft Store or with your reseller. And can I use remote assist together with my field service Dynamics installation? Yes, you can, of course. Remote assist work seamlessly with Dynamics 365 for field service. Adam?
We have also a couple of other questions from Jérôme. Jérôme was curious to know if there is some projects already going with remote assist or guides. Of course, we have a lot of references. We talked about Mercedes during this call, but there is also surgeries examples. So you can find, we'll send some links for references also in hospitals. We have also ABB that is using that, and we have also another couple of customers, I cannot tell the name, that are now deploying worldwide level remote assist. And for that, as we mentioned in the video, that what is interesting is we start very fast with this kind of project. We can identify a pilot site, could be a factory, and we can then just define if in terms of ROI for the company, it's okay. And then it's easy to extrapolate and then to decide if you can enjoy that for all your factories, for example. So it's very fast. The project timeline is really short to implement remote assist. It's really a small project, and then you can test it really fastly. Other question was about also the licenses. So the model of licenses, you don't have to be a Dynamics user to use remote assist or guides. There is a couple of licenses to have. So it's a remote assist license or guide. So remote assist is really to be used in a factory or to do some remote inspection or something like that. So then you can enjoy mobile, for example, or your HoloLens. For the guides, you need to have HoloLens because it's really to use that for scenarios like training, for example. That makes sense. So once you have the licenses, you can use your solution without being a Dynamics user for CRM or ERP.
So thank you very much. It was very nice to have the opportunity to bring you this stream. And if you want to see more events, there are really great events managed by our marketing and our team. You can visit this page here, events.microsoft.com. This is where you will find more. Please let us know what you thought about this digital cappuccino, and please comment on what we can improve, because we all like to learn more. Thank you very much. Goodbye.